So you were not in the business, you were on the business.
Exactly. Getting onto the business. And when I got onto the business, now I'm able to see a business as separate entity from me.
Right.
And able to see detachedly, okay, how it's performing.
Right. But I think this comes at a later stage, right? For people who are just starting out, like they have a startup of 2-3 years, I think they have to do everything. But after you mature into a certain level of company,
So people who are into startup, my suggestion is still be detached from your business and see the businesses as the mechanism of processes, because you will remain startup and you will be startup if you are in the business. If you want to scale it up, you have to be out of the startup zone. Yes, few times you may have to struggle, you may do some firefightings. At least you should have in a week 2 to 3 days focusing on to the business and not inside the business. अगर पता चला कि आप पूरा का पूरा टाइम बिजनेस के अंदर ही हो, तो आपने अपने लिए एक गंदी सी जॉब हायर कर ली है,
right?
जिसमें कभी आपको हॉलीडे भी नहीं मिलेगी, राइट?
But mostly normal people who say कि you have to be in the business, उसके बिना लोग ही आपका your CEO or whatever the top person is, that will eat away your profits, he'll cheat you. So how do you go about that?
बिजनेस का पता होना चाहिए.
Right.
You should know the dynamics inside the business, and that's right. But it doesn't mean you just remain inside. So induction point of view, yes, if you're a new joinee, you get inducted, you go out into different departments, you understand how it runs. But once it's done, it's done. Now it's there is a time to step out of it.
Right.
If you remain in and remain comfortable, right? And
You're not growing.
you are not growing, you are just keeping yourself busy. You are just keeping yourself busy.
You can hire somebody else, right, to do the work for you.
Exactly. And that hiring also, that's also one more myth. People think, oh, I'll hire a person, give him a job, I'm free. No, it's not going to be that case. And it majorly fails. Why? Because people don't put systems. Delegation also has its own science, right? And if it's not followed properly, it can backfire big way. So the person whom you are delegating, there's a 5 step of delegation one is to follow, and one has to have a mechanism of check and balance. So 5 step of delegation is, I do UC, this is the first step, we both do together, this is the second step, third you do IC, fourth is you do I monitor, and fifth is you do I preview, right? I just do weekly check, I'm not monitoring daily.
Right. First you teach, then dhire dhire, you step back.
Exactly. So this is the way, and then ultimately you have to build a system, a training module, so that you don't have to keep on doing when the person changes.
Right.
Right. आज एक बंदा है, उसकी दूसरा बंदा आएगा, तो फिर वापस आपको लग जाना पड़ेगा, because when that person leaves, who is the replacement? You have to get into. If you don't want that to happen, you should always have a backup ready for the person who will take over that job.
Okay, so you have, let's say, like a co-CEO or a junior CEO with you also.
Junior CEO, you don't give the name junior CEO. He's still working in a function, but this is the guy who is potential. He can be the next
replacement for
this person. And then people also see that they are getting promoted internally. And whatever, if you have a 6 people team or even 8 people team, there can be one guy who can take over. And one of the most important part, which was a big change, was to get oneself a EA, executive assistant.
Okay.
This is the smallest investment which every business owner should do to get out of the operation.
So what does that person do?
So executive assistant is a very simple lady, let's say 20, 30, 40,000 maximum.
Okay.
Who will do all your coordination, your ticket booking, your hotel booking, your travel arrangements, your calendars, management, emails.
The personal assistant.
Personal assistant. Right. But there is a little more than personal assistant, because she will do even follow-up of your tasks. So in my case, if I have to get any job done, it's just the once I tell to my WhatsApp, and that will happen no matter what, even if I forget.
Right.
the work will happen.
Okay, right, it makes sense, right? Because
Because-
now you're free. Now you can think clearly. चलो ये काम हो गया, हटाओ इसको.
हाँ, वरना क्या रहता है आपके दिमाग में, आपको पता है अरे इससे ये काम करवाना था,
Right.
अभी वो दिमाग में ही है
Right.
और वो करवाना है. जब तक याद है आप उसको फॉलोअप करते रहेंगे. दूसरी कुछ प्रायोरिटी आ गई, ये भूल गए, ये फॉलोअप भूल गए, तो वो बंदा भी भूल जाएगा.
Right.
और फिर आपको जब चमकेगा, अरे ये करने का था, अरे मैं तुझे बोला था, हाँ सर बोला था पर मेरा रह गया, मैं भी भूल गया. फिर आप क्या करोगे, अरे यार ठीक है चल अभी कर ले.
Right.
राइट नाउ इफ यू डोंट वांट दैट टू हैपन, इफ यू हैव दिस एग्जीक्यूटिव असिस्टेंट, she will just quickly make an Excel and entry of a particular task, assign that task to a particular person, call that person, say this is your task, and ask for a date. And now we have a system where we can show that there is a live dashboard where he sees what are the pending tasks which he is supposed to do by what date, and then there is a scoring.